Hey there, Hydrohaven family. Today we're digging into something game-changing that most gardeners overlook, the incredible living world beneath our feet. If you've been struggling with plants that just won't thrive despite your best efforts, or if you're tired of constantly battling pests and diseases, this guide is your ticket to gardening transformation. I'm going to show you exactly how to harness the power of beneficial soil bacteria and microbes to create a self-sustaining garden ecosystem that produces healthier plants with less work. These are the techniques that completely revolutionized my own garden, and I can't wait to share them with you. Here's something most garden centers won't tell you. Plants have evolved over millions of years to work with soil microbes, not bags of synthetic fertilizer. When your soil lacks beneficial bacteria and fungi, your plants are essentially trying to grow in a lifeless environment. They become stressed, weak, and susceptible to every pest and disease that comes along. The good news? Building vibrant living soil isn't complicated. It just requires understanding a few simple principles that nature has perfected over millennia. Feed your soil microbes the foods they love. Different soil microbes have different dietary preferences, and feeding them properly will supercharge your garden's microbial activity. For bacterial dominance, which is perfect for most vegetables and annuals, incorporate nitrogen-rich materials like grass clippings, kitchen scraps, and young plant matter. These materials have lower carbon-to-nitrogen ratios, which bacteria thrive on. For fungal dominance, ideal for perennials, trees, and shrubs, focus on carbon-rich materials like wood chips, fallen leaves, cardboard, and straw. These materials break down slowly, feeding fungal networks that create long-term soil structure. The easiest approach for most home gardeners is to create your own compost. Start a simple compost pile or bin using layers of green materials like kitchen scraps and fresh grass clippings and brown materials like dry leaves, small twigs, and paper. Turn it occasionally and keep it moderately moist. Within a few months, you'll have created the perfect microbial food source and inoculant all in one. For immediate results, apply a half-inch layer of finished compost to your garden beds each spring and fall. Work it gently into the top inch of soil, then water thoroughly to activate the microbes. This simple practice alone can dramatically improve your soil's microbial activity within weeks. Brew your own compost tea. One of the fastest ways to introduce beneficial microbes to your soil is through actively aerated compost tea. This simple but powerful brew multiplies beneficial microorganisms into the billions and helps them colonize your soil quickly. To make your own compost tea, start with a 5-gallon bucket filled with dechlorinated water. Simply leave tap water out overnight to remove chlorine. Add 1 cup of high-quality finished compost in a porous bag, like an old clean sock works well, along with a tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses to feed the microbes. Use an aquarium pump with air stones to aerate the mixture continuously for 24 to 48 hours. The resulting tea will be teeming with beneficial organisms. Apply it to your garden within a few hours of turning off the bubbler, as the microbes need oxygen to stay alive. For best results, water plants with the tea in the early morning or evening when temperatures are cooler. 1 gallon of tea can treat up to 50 square feet of garden area. For extra microbial power, add specific inoculants to your tea. A handful of worm castings introduces diverse bacteria. A spoonful of mycorrhizal fungi powder adds fungal diversity. Kelp meal provides micronutrients that feed both the microbes and your plants. Practice no-till gardening. Tilling disrupts the delicate soil food web by physically breaking fungal networks and exposing soil organisms to UV light and desiccation. Switching to no-till methods preserves and enhances soil life while improving structure over time. Instead of tilling, use a broad fork to gently loosen compacted soil without turning it over. This creates air and water channels while leaving the soil structure intact. Once your beds are established, avoid disturbing the soil beyond the top inch whenever possible. For new planting areas, try sheet mulching, also called lasagna gardening. Layer cardboard or several sheets of newspaper directly over grass or weeds, then add alternating layers of nitrogen-rich materials like manure, grass clippings and kitchen scraps, and carbon-rich materials such as straw, leaves, and wood chips. Top with a layer of compost and let it sit for a few months. The result is a weed-free, microbe-rich growing area created without tilling. When harvesting root crops, cut the tops off and leave the roots in place when possible. Use living mulches and cover crops. Bare soil is essentially dead soil. Nature abhors a vacuum and always works to cover exposed earth. Help this process along by using living mulches and cover crops to protect and feed your soil microbes year-round. During the growing season, plant shallow-rooted, low-growing plants between your main crops. White clover, creeping thyme, and Dutch white clover make excellent living mulches that add nitrogen to the soil while suppressing weeds and conserving moisture. In the off-season, plant cover crops like winter rye, crimson clover, or hairy vetch. These plants prevent erosion, outcompete weeds, and add organic matter to your soil. Some, like legumes, even fix nitrogen from the air into forms your soil microbes can use. When it's time to plant again, simply cut cover crops at soil level and leave the roots in place. Lay the cut tops on the soil surface as a mulch, or compost them first if you prefer a tidier look. This method, called chop and drop, returns all nutrients to your soil while creating perfect habitat for microbes. While general practices like composting and mulching introduce broad-spectrum microbes, sometimes your soil needs specific helpers for particular challenges. For vegetable gardens, mycorrhizal fungi inoculants dramatically improve nutrient uptake. Apply these directly to roots when transplanting or mix into seed-starting soil. For compacted soils, products containing humic and fulvic acids help stimulate microbial activity while improving soil structure. These concentrated forms of organic matter feed microbes while chelating minerals, making nutrients more available to plants. For disease-prone areas, consider specific bacterial inoculants like Bacillus subtilis or Trichoderma fungi. These beneficial organisms compete with pathogens for space and resources, effectively crowding out disease-causing microbes without chemicals. Once you've established a thriving soil food web, maintenance becomes surprisingly simple. Continue adding organic matter regularly, avoid synthetic fertilizers and pesticides that harm beneficial microbes, and keep soil covered at all times. Monitor your soil's improvement by observing earthworm counts, more is definitely better, and testing how quickly organic matter decomposes. A piece of cotton underwear buried in healthy soil should significantly decompose within 60 days. It's a fun and effective test of microbial activity. Water deeply but infrequently to encourage deep root growth and microbial activity throughout the soil profile. Morning watering is best, as evening moisture can sometimes encourage fungal diseases. Remember that building truly living soil is a journey, not an overnight transformation. Each season of microbial-friendly practices builds upon the last, creating increasingly self-sustaining systems that require fewer inputs over time. As your soil life increases, you'll notice remarkable changes in your garden. Plants grow more vigorously with fewer pest problems. Watering needs decrease as soil structure improves. Nutrient density increases, resulting in more flavorful harvests. Perhaps most importantly, your garden becomes more resilient to extremes of weather and temperature. The hidden world beneath our feet is truly the foundation of successful gardening. By partnering with these microscopic allies instead of fighting against nature, we create gardens that thrive with less work and fewer purchased inputs. Have you tried any of these techniques in your own garden? We'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the Hydrohaven channel for more practical gardening wisdom, and share this video with a friend who could use some soil building magic. Until next time, happy gardening.